Okay, it installs, right?
Yes.
So basically, like we can create an empty project here, uh, just to show how the thing works. And here you should have Node.js option when you like it's kind of a pre-configured thing. It selects the right compiler for you. It selects everything. What?
I just saw personal Jesus.
What?
I just saw your. I'm sorry.
People love it. We can choose Express, but it's not preferable. So
This is a separate program.
Yes, mine is not yet set up.
it's not okay. Well, let's see what's. Yeah, let's see what's.
It looks different to yours, quite.
So like 3 separate.
It just says Node.js. I guess.
Oh yeah, because you'll download it once and then it's gonna ask you.
It's gonna be okay.
Yeah. It's gonna be fine. So it's good that it helps you do this because it's kind of the most confusing thing. If you install it by yourself, it just does it for you. So. Did it work? Oh yeah, great. So I'll just probably make some notes. Okay, so
I'm seeing a lot of CH comments.
I'll share this afterwards.
So do we need to do the audio account?
I think you can do it for free. Did you choose a free version or? Oh, I see. Same, yeah. Yeah, just do a free version right now. What does it say?
It's a free evaluation. It's gonna go away after like 30 days.
Can I see the screen?
Well, I guess like within that, they.
I don't see it at all. It says 30 days left. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah, then that's good.
I'm gonna study really hard like tomorrow.
Yeah, you just click continue.
I'm just gonna do all like all the
Okay, so yeah, then you can apply for GitHub Student Pack,
Gotcha.
which is in Discord, and then they will give you a pro license until you stop being a student. So I just renewed my, but you have to renew it every year. It will tell you like every time you launch WebStorm, it tells you when your license expires. So
So we do Node.js.
yeah, we do Node.js, and let's call it. The location string is so. This is the project name, right? The last component of your path is the project name. So let's say I'm doing this on desktop, and you should have the same thing, by the way. So. Oh, yeah, great. You created one. Yeah, that's fine. So let's say I call it Node.js starter. You can call it whatever you want. Doesn't matter. And then you click create. So yeah, this is what happens.
Access to that or?
Yes, allow access. Did it go?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So this file. Do you see this file as well? You do. Okay, so this file is a configuration for your project. Here you can find the name, the version, the main file, which is very important. And basically, this thing is your project in some sense. So it tells you if you deploy it somewhere else other than your local machine, it will tell whatever this environment is, like what to do with this project. What are the dependencies? What are the components that need to be run? What are the scripts that need to be run and stuff? So it just tells like this file helps run your project anywhere, not just on your local computer. So yeah. Mostly it's going to be dependencies. Yeah, dependency is something that, let's say you do, in C++ you do include IOStream, right? Mm-hmm. So IOStream is a dependency, basically. So it's a library, dependency, package, all same thing. It's all same. And you probably saw a thing called NPM over there. So NPM is a shortcut for Node Package Manager, and it provides you a convenient way of managing the dependencies, basically, or packages, or libraries, or frameworks, whatever you want. So people write a lot of open source dependencies today. Like there is a library for convenient date conversion, so you can do like date 1 minus date 2, and you get the number of days. So it's very hard to do manually, but people have done it for you, and they just make it publicly available, and you just include this dependency right away.
It's copy and paste.
Yeah, kind of thing.
When you have those dependencies, you put them in this file, this package.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna show it in a minute. So let's say, so there is a window, a small terminal option somewhere. It might be on the side, but it should be somewhere on the edges of the screen. You should find it, the terminal button.
Yeah. Terminal. Terminal.
Yeah, it just says terminal. So this one.
Just a terminal.
Yeah, yeah. So if you say npm install, so npm is a command that we use for managing dependencies, and we say npm install, and then we choose some dependencies out of this giant catalog of things that people have created, you know. So we'll install a thing called Express. And then if you do space here, you can list a number of dependencies, like 1, 2, 3, 5, whatever. You can even write them into a file if you have like 25 dependencies, and you can just install the content of this file, like if you want. So Express, and we'll say body parser. So I'll explain what this is in a moment. Okay, so if you click enter, it's gonna. Oh yeah, Do you have the same thing? No. If no, then that's great, because I have restricted some permissions for myself. I don't know how, but yeah. Do you know sudo?
No.
Sudo is a super user do. I don't know what do is, but sudo is like, I really want to do this, like regardless, you know. So if you type sudo in front of something, that means that you have like full privileges for doing this. And see, like this, if I type sudo, it asks me for a password. So I have to be like basically if you type sudo on these computers, it's gonna tell you you can't do this because you're not the admin.
Yeah. So you're saying like the sudo is not recognizing the internal or external command?
Oh wait. So okay, npm is not recognized. Okay, how about you go and install. So if you go install Node.js from here. Yeah, and if you. Yeah. Yes. So. Yeah, turns out if you don't have Node.js installed, then you just go to this URL. Is it nodejs.org? And you just download the latest LTS.
Yeah, I might have to install Node.js again.
You as well. So yeah, you go to nodejs.org. And you install the LTS, which is the latest, I guess, something stable version or kind of thing. So Yeah, you download it and you set up. You just install it, you know. So I'm not gonna do it because I already have it. Yeah, and what this will do, it will install the entire Node framework, and it will install the thing called npm, which is a package manager. So it will be available everywhere. You just need to do it once in your lifetime. I mean, on this specific computer, you know. So
Make sure that it's in the path. I mean, it's.
oh yeah. It should be there. Yeah, some awful programs don't add themselves to the path, and it's bad. You can do I guess you can do echo path. So this command. So if you're in the terminal, you can do echo path, and it will tell you all the locations separated by, I guess. Let's see.
Is it supposed to happen? PowerShell?
Yeah.
It's already in the path.
It is? Okay, great. So let's see my. Oh shit. I have so many.
So what are those that shows like the path of
It's all the. So yeah, it's kind of so MongoDB is here, Anaconda for Python. So all this like frameworks that I have and binary files, databases. Yeah. So yeah, path is like a folder on your computer. So you type npm right on the first place, or like you can type MongoDB on the first place, and it has to be a script. And the system looks for the scripts in specific location. And this is what path is. A path to a folder with your scripts. So like, let's say, launch file is also a script. It's a script that launches a file, right? So when you say open file.txt, open is a script. And open has to be in your path. So there is one folder that you have to put all your binaries in to be executed. So so I had Node.js in my path and installed, and you didn't, right? And when you said npm, it says I don't know what npm is because it's not in this folder.
it's not within the path.
Yeah. So I'm gonna remove this. Yeah.
Don't mind this.
Sure.
So is this okay already?
Yeah. Yeah. So npm warnings are the famous joke because you usually get like 57 warnings and people just ignore them. But if you get errors, so ERR, then that's bad. So
Like the red one.
yeah, like I got before. So we do. So yeah, see, I have the same thing as you have.
Yeah.
So did it run?
Running anyway.
Oh my god. That's so.
You're hacked.
Is it?
No, just kidding.
Wait.
He's installing Node, I guess.
Oh, okay. That should be fine.
Yeah, it takes a while. Usually you don't see all this output, you just see a bar
Right.
going. But this is what happens on the background, you know. Yeah. So what did we just do? So now we have dependencies keyword in here, right? And this means that our project depends on Express, a thing called Express. Update the file. You do? Okay, so like let's say you push your code to the server, and the server knows that in order to run your project, it has to install Express and body parser in the first place. So like it's a prerequisite if you want. Yeah. So what is? I'll do a short note here for. So Node.js is a platform for, I would say, a runtime for running. What?
You'll set them.
Yeah, sure. Anywhere. So back in 2005-ish, 7-ish, you could run JavaScript only in the browser, so like in Google Chrome, Safari, and stuff. And Node.js basically allows you to run it anywhere. So like I can rename files. Let's say I need to rename files. Mostly you use Python for this, or like C++, right? But you can use JavaScript now as well, because if you install Node, you can use it. So it's kind of a compiler. We can say it's similar to compiler. Because if you don't have compiler, then you can, like, your system doesn't know how to run a program, right? So back in 10 years ago, you couldn't run Node.js JavaScript anywhere outside of the browser. You couldn't, and now you can. So you couldn't run it on servers, you couldn't run it on embedded systems anywhere, and now you can. Wait, are you doing this correctly? Did you click? Did you do the?
The LTS, right? So
Yeah, show me the file that was installed. I'll even write some more here afterwards.
right here, right?
If you run it, I don't know, it's just kind of slow. It shouldn't be as slow as it was. Oh yeah, right. You ran it right away. Okay, let's see.
Where there's a warning.
You know what? Let's save it. It should be fast. I don't know. It shouldn't be as slow as it is. Yeah, then there is Express.
So it's showing up like this. I click on that, and then it's jotted all. So
Oh yeah.
I did that before.
You did?
See? Change pair or name.
Let's wait a sec. Well, I guess it is installed already.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, then you should be able to. What the hell?
Well, we can look at the path. Go to when type search. I can try to configure because I did it the last time with PyCharm
Okay.
using my Windows laptop.
Yeah, can you do that?
Search edit environment. Sorry.
It's supposed to be added, right? EDIT.
You can look up environment variables. Oh, there you go. Yep.
Okay, do I do prime or professional?
Can I
Sure. Okay.
move it closer? I'm not. I don't think I've met
Z.
Z. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Mine's
Emily. Right. Nice to meet you. Hey.
No, I did that. They're
install it again. Now we have the file installed, which is very fortunate.
Yeah.
But I also pretty sure that
It will just run. Oh, I love the material because if you remove the material UI, it can be awful.
Oh, is this like
It's just a theme. Yeah.
for the ID?
Done some software. Yeah. There's like WebStorm and basically all JetBrains stuff is for big projects. Like if you're running something big throughout time, this is the best. Like you have to install like so many dependencies. If you consider code, some packages and stuff.
So you prefer WebStorm
Yes.
over Visual?
Only if you're not a probably like if you need to write one file, then use Visual Studio Code because
This loads up, like-
speeding up an entire project is not really a good idea. Yeah, you don't always need it. Right?
Wait, I feel like with this, there's also an option to just like create a file.
Yeah. I'm just saying that it has so many like things already done that you don't have to do manually or type or like it has this. We'll configure this running file. You know, you'll be able to click buttons on this tab control to run files and debug stuff. Like I can imagine doing my first 30 classes without this idea. Just like debugging is essential. Okay.
Why don't we just go to that Windows PowerShell?
But you got yeah, right now you should be able to.
Right?
Try restarting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just restart your PC. Yeah, so let's create a file in you can follow it like
Right.
when you fix it. So we have in a root structure we the best way to do it is to choose project files here because in this mode you don't have redundant files that you don't really need. So here you have so .idea is like specific to your IDE files, like a history of version control. Basically, you don't need to worry about this folder, and you also don't want to share this folder.
Why not? Is your password?
Yeah, it may contain some sensitive data, and also like people on your team might work in Visual Studio Code, and this is specific to JetBrains stuff. So you don't really.
It's not necessary.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, and to ignore it, you need to add the file called. Oh, wait a sec. So if you click New File, like with a double in Mac,
The 3? Wait.
just click in the empty space with like the right click, basically.
So npm install.
Inside idea?
Yeah, in the left menu.
Within idea or within the...
No. Yeah, the very top folder.
So new...
So you say npm.
Say New File, and call it .gitignore. Gitignore. Oh no,
Did you click register?
I have to
Now it's
move it.
working.
That's what it did tomorrow.
So yeah, so you have this file?
Yeah.
It did?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you're on track. So now create a folder in the main. So you have click project and do project files instead. Now expand this and click here with the new file. Call it .gitignore, one word, .gitignore. And this tells you that these are the files that you don't want to push to GitHub.
What do you mean that's wrong?
Like your passwords, your like sensitive API keys, sensitive information, and you should add .idea here,
Okay.
like the entire folder. And slash means everything in the in the nested levels and within that folder, right?
In my case, should be untitled, right? Because I set it untitled.
No.
No?
Just say .idea, because you're supposed to have this as well. So let's create another file. You should have a JavaScript file template, or if you don't, just say
So JavaScript file? Or
yeah. Do you have it? Okay. JavaScript file. Let's call it server. Yeah, and it will add JS for you. Yeah. Well, yeah, right. So this is our main file, and let's do some code here. So this is the same as include like IOStream, or this could be like in C++. This could be,
Okay, include express, gotcha. So it's constant express is equal to require express. So is it JavaScript or?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then let's say another import,
So the second time.
and you can call this. So this variable name can be whatever you want, by the way. So like if you want to call it X, you can say X. Like this is also fine.
But it just makes sense to name
Yeah, it just makes sense to name it the way that.
Yeah. This flow shows up every And that
So-
goes, like, with that organization in general, when you use a server, it's preferably you use the same name as
Natalie, so I logged in and then this opened and automatically.
Yeah.
And now what?
And then let's say const app. So when we create servers, we create web apps basically, and we're gonna create a web app right now, and we're gonna execute the Express. So we create an instance of Express application right now.
How many languages do you know? How many languages you know like right now? JavaScript, C++, Python.
HTML, CSS, if you can call them programming
Or
languages.
C?
C as well, yes. Some Swift.
So it's all pretty much from hackathons or?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
Do I can go like start doing that hackathon? Like, how do you start? Like, if you're super dumb and you haven't know anything other than C++?
they have documentation.
Uh-huh.
You just go like, I want to learn JavaScript,
Right.
and they have the get started tutorials that you go through. Like right now, I'm doing a get started tutorial. Like you don't need to know what is Express
Right.
or anything like that.
Gotcha.
You just like follow, and then like when time progresses, you start getting it. Like
Exactly.
what these lines are. And
Just
stuff.
like C++, we just started like, start getting it.
You have a comment or no? Okay. So right now we can say that so this is a very unusual structure in the beginning.
Oh, you still have pencil. Do you need it still? You can keep it. Okay.
We're basically.
Close that front over there, or keep going like that.
In labs. In class, we're very.
So yeah, if you can copy that, that would be great. Do you want me to do it like bigger?
Yeah.
Is it better?
Yep. What's that sign after? Like equal and greater than?
What?
Equal or greater than, or equal or less than?
Greater than.
Greater than.
So here we say that. So remember I told about get requests and post requests and stuff.
Yes.
So in short, we can do different types of requests. Get is usually when you don't have like sensitive data, and post is when you have sensitive data and you want to keep it secret. This makes sense. I'll do like a note about this in the notes.
This again, this post also applies to when you're only getting get is when you're just posting like more in per file.
Mhm.
And then post is like when someone like it's for when submitting when the user submits information.
Yeah. There is also a delete query.
Delete graphic.
Yeah, just you say app.delete, and you have to like. It's basically made for specific queries that delete stuff, right? So you let's say you want to delete your account in the system, you may do it as a post query, but you may do it as a delete. It just makes more sense because
Delete good information.
it's just a more concise way of. So when you read the code, you can say, "Aha, this deletes stuff, and this gets stuff, this posts stuff, and stuff." You know. So here we say that our application is waiting for a get request, and this is the route. So I could say hello, right? And then let's say we run on google.com, right?
Wait, are we supposed to write that?
No,
Oh, okay.
it just comments. So let's say our domain was google.com, right? And here I say if somebody hits this URL with their browser, let's say if I choose it hello world, right? Or let's say just empty, right?
I think it helps if you close your file. So that
If somebody hits this URL, and so this is what I specify here.
Okay.
It's a part that follows my domain name. Then I should send back hello world, just as a plain text. And you can, by the way, turn it into like HTML. But yeah, this is not necessary right now. So, okay, are we kind of clear on this? Okay, and here the cool thing is you can add additional, let's say, hello world, right?
Because like 5 people asked about it right after.
You know the timing change, the one that was due.
So we can do multiple routes for one application. So when somebody hits this,
You used about how we moved it around.
right? So is it kind of clear like what we specify as the first argument? Okay, and then so this weird construction is, and I forgot to add rec and res here. So this, like the thing I'm highlighting, is a function essentially, just a usual function from C++ or any other language that gets executed once somebody hits this URL. So if I hit this, then this function is executed, right? And we get hello world. If I click hello world, then I get this function as well.
That's how the backend works with the website.
Yeah. So yeah, this is how backend works, and basically like all the flow consists of getting from one route to another. Like if I hit the profile page, I get the profile. If I click whatever news page, I get news and stuff. You know. So essentially this part stays the same, but the functions themselves get more complicated. Like you want to fetch the data from the database sometimes, you want to do additional steps inside of the functions before you send it back. So, yeah, that's your inside the functions you have your business logic, as you say.
Wait, what class?
Since it's not, we can also, as I said, we can write logic.
What is your occupancy?
Regular, what we can do in C++.
No, he's 400. He's doing 400.
Yeah, and this last file kind of launches the program, so it makes the server work all time. So like when you execute a usual program, right? It just runs and finishes, and that's it. But this command will make it run all the time until you kill it. So this is what server does. It listens to requests. So you just say app.listen.
I know who Parker is.
And this is port. So applications have ports that like you can't do port 80 because port 80 is a system requirement. Your system will not work if you do port 80. So you have to choose some other number. And this is also a function, right? So what happens if our application is successfully launched? We kind of fire this function, and it outputs app listens on.
Why do you choose 3000?
Go for it. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter. As soon as you don't use some system level ports that kind of are prohibited, some ports are prohibited from using by programmers. Only like macOS itself can use them. And if you use them, your system will break. So you have a responsibility. Yeah, and right now, if you save this file and then you go Node. So Node is our script, remember? And it should be in the past. If you do Node server.js, server.js is the name of the file that we just wrote, right? If you launch it, it's gonna tell you app listens on port. Does it? It does? Mm-hmm. It should tell you, like, if you launch it, it should tell you where the error is, right? It does? So our next and last step for today is if you go to your browser and you type localhost colon 8080.
Can you open the app.get? Wasn't there?
Yeah.
App.get. App.get.
And then when I go to the hello world,
Yeah, it's gonna tell you something else.
Yeah, that's why I did it wrong.
Give me
I
error
don't know
here.
what I did. I forgot about the test.
Okay, there's a
It works? Okay. So don't forget to kill it, and you kill it with Control C or Control D, like something like that.
the app listen on port 8080, right?
Yeah, right. And then you go to your browser, anyone you like, and you go to localhost, one word, localhost. Colon, colon, 8080, 8080, yeah. And if you go /hello world, right? Because another URL that we specified.
yeah,
Well, how are you making that stand up on?
you do the /hello earlier.
And how are you also meeting it without getting it?
Okay. So you can like show anything at any.
Yeah, try typing this other URL that we had, which is hello-world.
Right here, this one? So what are we doing here? What do you mean by that?
Type it.
Oh, just the whole thing. Like right here?
Yeah. Type it after the.
Like that?
Yeah. Enter. You probably didn't copy it correctly. Oh, because you have to add rec and res here.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And just a short note about rec and res. So rec and res are our function arguments, because we usually, like in C++, we have like int, calculate, right? So and A and B are our arguments, and same here. So rec and res are arguments, and rec is request.
So how do we just close that, right?
Try Control C. Yeah,
Okay, gotcha.
and then do it again, and then try this hello world URL. Just update it. Yeah. So you just tried two URLs and you got two different outputs, right? Yeah, and so request or rec object is an object that contains all your information, like from the user. So let's say you do a request, right? And you have Mac OS, you have this browser, you have this. Like I did a request from Chrome. You probably also did, right? So the rec object contains all the things about the requester, like which URL he requested, from which computer, when, stuff like that. So all the information that can be obtained, like when you requested something, what was it, and who you are.
So we can like literally communicate with each other, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and then response is empty at the beginning. And based on your request, so let's say you request hello world, right? Our application is like, okay, he requested /hello world. And he did it from Chrome at like 3 p.m., right? And it's like, okay, I have a configuration that whenever somebody requests hello world, I run this function. And you put this string, another hello world, into a request object. You kind of like attach it to it. And the response object is kind of different on every request, right? Because it's different people who make it, and you make different URLs, right? So when you click a link, it's actually somebody's handling this request for you, somewhere on somebody's backend, right? And when you click .send, so response.send, it sends a response with a file, or like when you click download an assignment file, somebody's like, okay, somebody clicked this URL, so I gotta fetch assignment file first from the computer, and then send, then res.send file, right? It's just like the way it works, kind of thing. It's not the way it's implemented, but this is the logic of how it works. So when you do like downloads, when you do anything, yeah.
So like the back end, let's say user, the ones programming that,
Yeah.
They can send like some adversary can send like some hacking tools, like some bad
Yeah.
materials.
Yeah.
They like they make it like, oh, this is like a downloadable file. It's good, then they send
Yeah.
like a totally different.
Yeah, of course. Yep, this is how it works. But yeah, the cool thing is that it's more frequently the opposite. So you are the hacker trying to hack this backend, and you try to put like some specific content in the form and send it, so that my server kind of gives you some secret info or crashes or whatever. So, and this is where security comes in, right? So. Yeah, and basically that's you can play with it. So like imagine we were more complex, right? It was your personal website, and like this could be like my photo, right? And inside here you will retrieve your picture first of all, and then send it to somebody who requested it. And this could be like resume, right? So whenever somebody goes to your website /resume, like you fetch your resume, and you send it back, right? So, and like let's say your resume is stored in a database. So you have to ask the database first, wait for a response from the database, and only then you send the response back. Yeah, this is basic. This is like the very basic setup for.
Is it recording? Okay, gotcha. It's quick.
I think it does, but
Right.
I don't think it matters.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah, I think that's it. That's kind of. I'll probably post some additional things in the notebook as I did last week. So, did you guys find it helpful, like the notebook and the links?
Don't see
Yeah,
that.
it's helpful.
You did? Okay.
And also, I just want to note, since D is your first time like doing web programming,
Yes.
you've noticed like on console.log, when we started the Node server.js,
Right.
what we have on console.log shows up in our terminal.
Thing, yes, right.
And then on the web part,
It shows the message, yes.
there with the rest that's it.
Right.
So I just noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, console log is for developers mainly. Like you can track, like if you have if else, you can say like console log. This is what's being executed. Like let's say you're searching for a bug, and like you have no idea where it is. You just do if else. Like if this file was actually sent, console log sent. If it actually wasn't, then console log didn't send. And then you have something in your console that tells, well, it wasn't sent. I was like, oh wow, I didn't know it. I thought it was sent. So it's more for debugging.
Gotcha. For us to like compiling your errors or warnings.
Yeah. So the problem essentially is that JavaScript compiles almost regardless of anything, and like this is why you may have a lot of errors but still be able to run. And this is why you have to like test your code a lot of times. And this is where console log helps. So, yeah, I guess that's it for tonight. You can create a lot of routes here. You can, and I'll share the link to Express documentation and a lot of helpful stuff to get you guys more on this.
Do you have like any hackathon like we're gonna start like from scratch? Like when they're gonna host that, or when they're gonna host like a hackathon like super simple or stuff for
Wait,
starters for a hackathon.
like are we having a hackathon
I'm
for?
asking you if there's
Oh yeah, any of them.
any of them.
Yeah, you can. They like every hackathon will have super advanced people and super beginners people.
Okay, gotcha.
Like this is how it works.
For everyone.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
because like
And
on like first three you will not be competing, but on like the fourth you'll probably know enough to like find a team and build something.
See, for my first hackathon, I didn't build anything. I guess I just like went to part of the workshop.
Right.
Because there are like workshops.
Right.
So we just
Gotcha. That's helpful. Where is that? In order.
we're like 3 in our search